Every car has a story.
Like the best thing ever.
For some, they end up here. Hi, I'm Gary Nichols. My team and I rescue cars from this. Here at Radical Rods, Rides and Restoration, we restore vehicles, giving them a renewed lease on life and preserving their stories so they could be told right here on Radical Restoration. Years ago, back in 1965, cars either had innovative features or lots of horsepower. In this episode, we're going to check out two rare cars, a 1965 Ford Galaxie 427 and a 1965 Old Starfire Convertible.
My name is Len Trumbley. The car that you'll be seeing is a 1965 Oldsmobile Starfire Convertible. It's one of only 326 that were built in 1965. And this is the last year of the Starfire. You won't see another one like it. It's the first year for a glass back windows in convertibles. Here you'll see where the exhaust comes out the bottom at the back. That's the only car it's ever been done on by General Motors. My wife and I searched around for quite a long time to find something that we wanted, because we both like convertibles, and so it's kind of the thing that we've always liked. And I'm going to be retiring in the near future, and we thought we'd like to have a convertible for my retirement. It took us a long time. It was just a little black and white picture in Kijiji, and we went up to Midland to see the gentleman that owned it, and he was a retired school teacher. We went back and seen it 3 times because the car was pretty rough, and we were kind of torn whether we wanted to do it or not. But when we found out how many unique things there was with this car, and and the way it was, it's very difficult to find something that has a bit more individual life to it, style and whatever, than just another run-of-the-mill old car. So it comes with power antenna, powered trunk release, so all the things you would expect to find in a good-sized Oldsmobile. It's like a downsized Cadillac, maybe you would say, but it's its own entity. The car's virtually 20 feet long. As you can see inside, these are all the original seats and everything, but they've been reupholstered in such a way that there's the blues in the shoulders and around the edges and the whites and some silver. The steering wheel is two-tone now. All the dash has been redone, totally different color. All new carpeting, mats, everything's all brand new. Windshield's brand new, everything in this car is brand new, but still original. But we updated the seating and everything in it by changing the color package as well. But when you're back in the 60s, all the old cars like that, if you open the door, it was one color. If it was red, it was red, or blue, it's blue. There wasn't no mixing of colors like we've done here.
Up next, one man's passion for his 65 Ford Galaxie is sidelined. His family does all they can to get him out for one last ride. This is a 65 Ford Galaxie. It's one of 14. It's a rare car. It's a 427. Side-over motor. It's very rare from the factory. These were basically factory-built race cars is what they were. And we're just doing a same problem with the ignition. The weights and springs tend to go on these things. This car is actually going to be up for sale shortly. The family that we built it for wants to free up the money, but for a Ford collector, this is a beauty.
Oh, ever since I was little, my dad has been interested in nothing but classic cars. We've had, from what I remember, a Boss Mustang that was orange, a black GTO convertible, a black and gold Shelby, and then the Galaxy, that's the one. That was it. That's the one that he's wanted since he was 18, he always told me. And he finally got one, and that's been it. That's all he's ever talked about. That's the focus, is the Galaxy.
Brian saw an ad in a magazine, an auto magazine, for a 65 Ford Galaxy 500. He got really excited. It was in Loveland, Colorado. So in March of '92, we put a trailer on behind his pickup truck, and we drove to Loveland to pick it up. And it was in pretty good shape, but it had sat in the desert for quite some time, and they had danced on the roof, so it was caved in a little bit. Very, very sun-faded from sitting in the desert, but Brian just had to have it. So we put it on the trailer and brought it home.
From what I remember, my dad would work on the car in the various places that we lived. He worked on it until he got sick, and then it got a little bit too difficult for him. He wasn't able to use his hands anymore to be able to work on it.
Brian has Huntington's, and he's very with it. But his body doesn't work.
We finally, with perseverance, I was able to find some good people, and the motor got rebuilt, and then Rob introduced me to Gary here at Radical Rides and Restorations, and he's been amazing. And last summer, the dream was realized, which is all I ever wanted, was for my dad to be able to see the car done and be able to go in it.
Didn't tell Brian that the car was finished, and we told him we were going for a barbecue at our daughter's house. So I picked him up at the long-term care facility where he is, and I took him to Orangeville where the car was. Our daughter got in the car, and we made a little excuse that we were going to see a friend of hers for something that we needed. And I backed the car in beside the garage, and Sarah got out of the car and went around to the garage where Brian's car was sitting. And she came out around the corner of the garage with it, and he was just so excited, so excited to see the car. We got him into the car, and our daughter took him for a spin and squealed the tires, and he just giggled. He was so happy, just loved it. That's the day that we drove the car. We put him in the car and took him for his first ride.
That's the day that we got him in there.
Yeah.
We were just about to pull out. To have him in the passenger seat beside me, and the wind in our hair, driving as fast as we could, was the best thing ever. It was the best thing ever.
He was shaking, really. He was just vibrating. He was so excited.
I would love to see my dad in the car one more time. He asked about it still, and last summer we drove around in it a lot, and he loved it. So to be able, if we could, get him in the car again would be the best, the best.
He's hoping that he's going to get in the car again and have another ride. He's hoping. It's his dream to be in that car.
Think we can get him in the car?
Can we do it? Yeah, we probably could.
They've shined it up a lot since the last time I drove it. It had a little bit of bugs and stuff on it.
Yeah. All the dust is gone. Looks great.
So we were moving the car from Tottenham to Hillsburg, and my dad was driving the car. It had no windshield. It had no windows at all, actually. It had no seats, so he was sitting on a milk crate. And it was really cold, so he had on a toque and a winter coat, and I was following him in the car behind him, and it had no plates or anything, and the police pulled us over. And the police officer got out, and he said, "What are you doing?" And so my dad told him what we were up to, that we were just moving it to another shop, and he said, "This is a fantastic car," and he said a really nice car, and he said, "Carry on."
was talking with the daughter.
Last night.
Yeah, apparently last night he passed away. Well, originally when we were filming this episode, we had interviewed with Sarah and Lynn, and the following week we were going to have Brian up to have some filming of him in the car, and I got some bad news this morning that he actually passed away last night. So, you know, our condolences to the whole family. He was a very nice guy. Thank you for joining us. My name's Gary Nichols. Until next time, may all your rides be radical.